But this is going to be our live review of it on 4K.
Yep.
So what did you think about it?
I liked it. I read the book when I was a kid when it first came out, and then saw the made-for-TV movie back in, I don't know, it was like 80s or 90s whenever it came out.
Who's in that?
God, Richard Thomas from the Waltons. Venus, the guy who plays Venus Flytrap in WKRP in Cincinnati from the 70s and 80s again.
Who was the clown?
The clown was Tim Curry, who also plays Frankenfurter on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And while he did a good job back then, his performance pales in comparison to Bill Skarsgård, who did this It. Man, this Pennywise was quite quite creepy.
Like I saw some clips. I vaguely remember seeing it when I was a kid, but I think it was like a miniseries on TV.
Yeah, it was like a I don't know, 3-day or something like that. I didn't really care for how they tried to mix, the shifting of, it started out with them as adults, and then it went into the kids, like why they were meeting together as adults, and it was confusing to a point. I think that, like, whenever Stephen King's involved in the television or movie productions, I don't know what he does, but he ruins stuff. It's like, Stephen, you're a great writer, just step back and let the guys who do this for real take their thing. Like Stanley Kubrick in The Shining, he hated The Shining. Shining is one of the most scary movies of all times. So, but this was a really, really good job. I like the fact that I don't know if you've hopefully everyone's seen it at this point, but the fact that this whole movie is them as kids. And then the next iteration is going to be them as adults and how they, what happens on the adult side. A lot easier to follow that way. The story has much greater continuity. And also I think that the actors they picked this time were much better than the kids that they had last time. Not taking anything from them, but these guys just did a really, really good job. Plus it's got that kid from Stranger Things who's such a dick in this movie. I just want to punch him in his face.
I think he might be a dick in real life.
Yeah, he could be. But, I don't really care. I don't have to meet the kid. I'm not his parents. Although, with the money he's pulling in, I wish I was.
But the clown was, I think he was more campy in the TV show?
He was definitely, it's Tim Curry, and Tim Curry is very campy. He's very over the top. He's not known for his sort of subtlety. Whereas this new Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård, is one of the worst. Like, I noticed this actually when I'm watching it this time versus when I saw it in the theater. The way his eyes move. I don't know if they do that through CGI.
I think he did.
But
he did that in real life.
Yeah, his left eye is like dead. It drifts down and sort of off to the left while he's looking at Georgie, and then it kind of goes dead like a shark eye. It was creepy as fuck.
So I think I saw on YouTube. I saw an interview where he did that weird thing with his lip.
He did that?
He drooped it down, and he made that one eye go lazy.
Wow, that's a lot of physical talent. I mean, I've seen, we've all seen guys like Jim Carrey and other actors do really amazing thing that we didn't really realize they were doing for real with their bodies. But that, if he was doing that for real, ugh. The only thing I didn't really care for was his character drooled a little too much for me. I'm sorry. I know he's supposed to be a hungry beast, and here's a meal so close at hand. But still, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of drooling.
But was he from? What was he supposed to be in the book? Who was the clown? Because I saw an interview. He said he was like a interdimensional being or something like that.
In the book, he's a spider. In the book, I'm sorry if I spoiled the story for you guys. I don't know what they're going to make him in the end, in the second part of the movie, but in the book, it's a big spider that's luring kids in there, and he feeds on the spider. He feeds on the kids.
Is it? It's just a spider?
Yeah, and he I don't know how I can't remember. It's a long time ago since I read the book, but how he sort of feeds on the fears of the kids. That may be a supernatural aspect of it, or like I was saying before, the queen of an ant community controls the ants through pheromones. So it could be something. There could be an actual natural phenomenon where this thing's somehow getting into the water or to whatever in the town and being able to control it through the mind. Some kind of mind control. I don't know. Again, like I said, I haven't read the book in a long time.
But I thought this was. But I love this portrayal Bill Sars, wasn't he? Skarsgård?
Skarsgård, yeah. He's
got a brother who's...
Alexander Skarsgård, who played in True Blood, played the
right.
vampire.
He's a big Jack dude there.
Yeah, the big Eric.
And he was also in Zoolander, if anybody knew that.
Yes!
He was one of the models.
Yes, he was. He was. Oh my God, he was the tall blonde guy who Earth to
Earth to Meekus.
Earth to Meekus. No, I don't think you're actually calling me from space. Oh, I think you do.
Yeah, I just caught that because that was one of my favorite movies. I love watching Zoolander.
And
I saw him. He's like a really skinny blonde dude.
Oh, he's really super young in that movie.
Yeah, but it was good though.
He was also in Generation Kill, which was one of my favorite HBO miniseries. He plays a very big frosty sergeant, gunnery sergeant, who's a badass.
Who? Oh, what's that?
Alexander Skarsgård.
What movie?
It was a miniseries on HBO called Generation Kill, about the 1st Marine Division in Iraqi War.
Never seen it. I don't have HBO, maybe that's why.
Well,
yeah, there you go.
definitely worth a watch.
But definitely worth a watch. Cheers. Cheers. Are actually drinking Brooklyn Brewery.
Black chocolate stout, that's what he's drinking.
Stout.
And I'm drinking my Two Roads Road to Ruin. That's some strong stuff right there. That's 10%. You don't fool around.
This is late night 4K Blu-ray reviews live streaming.
Right, we're after hours. You know what I'm saying? It's like Comedy Central.
But we just watched it again for like the 4th time.
Yeah, I love this movie.
It's a good movie. I don't really like horror movies, but I mean this mixed with the visuals and the sound.
That's what I want to get into. So, anyone who really likes horror movies knows. So yeah, there's that strong visual element. But sound is key. Now, if you've seen this movie before, watch it again. I want you to notice something at the very beginning when Georgie's in the house and his brother is, making the boat for him, and you hear that eerie piano music in the background, and then Georgie walks downstairs and it's Mom supplying the background music.
I know, I thought that was weird. I caught that the second time. I was like, wait a minute, his mother's playing
piano?
I'm
like, wait a minute. She's the soundtrack. Oh, that's just. It was a nice little kind of poke at the 4th wall, but getting back to the sound. So I saw this movie this is like I said the 4th time I've seen it, and so the sound when they're out in the town and it's not anything scary, it's just average sound. But when they go down into the sewers, that's when the DTS was it DTSX or Dolby Atmos?
Dolby Atmos.
All right. Well. He's a tech guy. I'm just the guy that watches.
But you're gonna get all the sound, little creaks. I mean, whoever has the proper setup, whoever has like the 7 channels plus the 4 height speakers, you're gonna get little creaks and little drips here and there. I think it was chapter 12.
Even if you've seen this before, it's still gonna scare you.
Yeah, you're gonna hear the clown, like moving around the room. Speakers just circling around the room, just creeping up on the little kid with the curly hair.
Yeah. Oh my God. The thing with the long stretched out face. Yeah.
Then he sucks on his face towards the end there.
That thing.
BS tooth.
I've seen it. I knew it was coming, and the sound before it pops up made me jump again.
See, a lot of people don't realize that sound is like half of the experience when you're watching these kind of movies.
What I tell people when they ask me about stuff like this, I'm like, all right, so 2 things where sound is just absolutely a must. Imagine watching Rocky, the first one, when he's running through the city and he's training. The big training montage, and when he's running up the stairs, up to this, and he's doing it without the music. It's just some spacone running through the city of Philadelphia, with little kids following, dogs barking, and he gets to the top and he looks like a crazy guy because he's just. Arms in the air. So
you're gonna have the Rocky theme song.
That's what I'm saying. Without the Rocky theme song, it's some crazy guy running through the town in his sweats. And then imagine the first time you see Darth Vader coming on board the ship, and you don't hear the march, Vader's march. Man, it's just a guy in a suit, like dark helmet. It's Rick Moranis. Audio is huge.
It's half the visual experience. I think there's a lot of people on the channel who watch the reviews, kind of only pay attention to the visual aspect.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. Let's go 4K. But I mean, audio, especially in a big movie like this, like a scary horror type of movie, audio is really gonna heighten that experience up, especially with the little delicate sounds you're gonna hear.
Right. It's those little sounds that make the ambience. I mean, all right. So how many of us have, let's say, watching a scary movie at night? the house is dark, and not even related to the movie, you hear a little something from the kitchen, or something like a little something, whatever. You don't know what it is. Maybe a tree branch scratching the window, or just whatever it might be. It heightens your mood. It's actually what jacks up your chemistry.
And also, base level in this is like, it's like crazy. It's like, I think right at the beginning, like chapter 1, it's like you get that low level bass. It's like you don't really hear it, but you feel it on your body. It just tingles your whole body.
It really rises up though when you're in the tunnel and it's bringing you up to the credit, where it shows it, the title part, and man, it's just
tremendous amounts of bass. If you live in an apartment, maybe don't watch it after 10.
especially the scenes where they're in the garage and he comes out, like when they're watching that's really a lot of bass, because there's a lot of, he's huge and he's, it's a big fight scene. And then in the house, the crack house, the battle in the tunnels, and then just what is it, a lot of times when he gets them like on the one-on-one thing, when she's showing them their fears, there's a lot of like he said, like a lot of the bass tone is there, yeah. And it's not shaking the house, but it is shaking you.
Yeah. So I mean, if you got a huge subwoofer, I mean, this is. Let me tell you, after I bought the SVS subwoofer,
yeah,
like I had a 15.
You mean your other SVS subwoofer?
I got 3 of them in there, but after I bought the 16-incher, it's like whoever has the SVS 16, PD16. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about when you hear that ultra low frequency, like 13 hertz bass, 14, 15 hertz bass, just like shaking your body.
Yeah, you don't hear it,
like I didn't get that. Feel it. Yeah, I didn't get that from others. I had a 15-inch prior. I didn't get that before, but I've been rewatching a lot of movies with the new subwoofer. It's pretty sick. I think. Wait, I think this gentleman here said. He's a demon.
Yeah,
wait, well, was he a demon?
A demon?
Yeah, was he a demon in the book?
No,
wasn't it?
He wasn't a demon. No.
I didn't read the book.
There's a Ray Bradbury story called Something Wicked This Way Comes, and it's the same. This whole demon carnival thing has been a reoccurring theme in a lot of different stories. In this case, no, he wasn't a demon.
I wouldn't know.
Demons. No, no. Demons possess. I'm not a freaking priest. I'm not, some demonologist. But I've read the book, and a big point with a lot of people when I read the book were they were all very disappointed when they found out that it was a spider.
That kind of seems lame.
Well, I mean, he must have been a very, impressive spider. I mean, look in what is it, Fellowship of the Rings, right? Shelob is a freaking gigantic spider that's been alive for, time immemorial in the mountain, feeding off all the soldiers and stuff. But obviously wasn't trying to control minds and preying on your fears. It just ate you when it wandered into its lair.
I didn't know that. He was creepy clown. Clowns are creepy.
Yeah.
I never get creeped out by clowns, though.
Nah, but I didn't mind clowns as a kid.
But the visuals, though, what did you think? I thought black levels were a little...
What?
I thought the black levels were a little off on it.
Yeah, I think it was more gray tones than black tones, especially like in the first scene when Georgie goes into the basement. It's very gray. It's not the areas that should have been dark were not black. They were, and I've noticed that at the movies. I noticed it on my OLED, and now again watching it here. I think overall there was a lot of soft. I think the aerial shots were very soft. A lot of stuff during the daytime, unless it was like a close-up of someone's face, were very soft. You got a few good textured shots, like of buildings and things like that. But things got real when you went down into the sewers. Then all that textured stuff that you could see when they make concrete things, or at least back then, they used wood as forms, and you could see the grain of the wood in the concrete. Like it looked like boards, but you knew it was concrete. The water on everything, it was very impressive in the sewers and the actual scary scenes.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, sharpness. I think it's only got like a 2K DI, so it's not like a true 4K movie. It's like an upconvert.
Oh, really?
Which I think you said it would look a little bit soft.
Yeah.
It did look a little bit soft.
I didn't know that it was a shot in 2.
No, I think it was shot in 3.4K. 3.4K.
Right, so this is why he's the technical guy, because he knows all the transfer stuff, which is, you know, not my specialty.
But if you guys want...
You're always wrong about 4K.
Again,
I knocked the mic off the table. I went to point at something and my hand hit the table and knocked the mic off. So, pardon me. Pardon my little technical faux pas. But I've been drinking beer.
But again, we're watching on 126-inch screen. So is it easier to tell like deficiencies in a transfer at a larger size than it is in a smaller size?
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Does this movie look amazing on the OLED? On my OLED?
Yes, it
I have
does.
an A1E, and it looks fantastic on that.
Yeah.
But once you blow it up to a much larger scale, you know, you're going to see less details. The image will be softer.
Yep.
It's just...
Well, it's so 4K. 4K takes and you shrink down your pixel size, right, in comparison to 1080. But when you take a screen, and I know it's a projector, so you're not going to see pixel size, but you still, when you blow something that large, you do magnify all the detail, including the noise.
And it is just a little bit soft.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of softness. Was I a little upset about that? I mean, I knew it had a 2K DI. It was going to be a little bit on the soft side.
Yeah.
So sure. It's a little bit soft. A lot of people don't get it. What can we say? We're only reporting what we're seeing.
Yeah. Zombie fiction. How far are you sitting from your screen? Your top 10 of 2017 was awful. Okay, understand this. The top 10 of 2017 wasn't about the movies we liked the content of the best. It was the movies that we felt gave some of the best examples of 4K transfer and audio as well.
And how far are we sitting from the screen? We're sitting about six, 7 feet from the first row.
From the first row.
And the back row is about 12 feet.
Yeah.
In the second row.
we're very close for that size screen.
Does it look? Do some of these movies look softer from the first row than the second row? No.
No.
It's you're either seeing it super sharp, you're either seeing pores and textures, or you're not. It's either soft or it's sharp.
3 or 4 feet doesn't matter at that size. You're seeing it.
Once you get true 4K resolution at a huge size, over 100 inches, then you guys will see the difference that I'm talking about.
But you didn't include Spider-Man, Blade Runner, Planet Earth.
Well, we didn't include it because it was based on audio and video.
Right.
A lot of the reviewers on the channel, on YouTube rather, they're only looking at one thing because they don't have part 2. Remember, this is an audio and visual reviews that I do.
Yeah.
Other people just do video, which is understandable. I think the majority of people...
There's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, he's got a system that he'd be foolish not to give you an audio opinion because...
This is like
Shutter going to like an IMAX theater. You're not going to get any better video or audio than you have in what we're listening to.
There you go. We do reviews based on that because I mean we're home theater enthusiasts,
right?
Which a lot of people I try to cater to on the channel.
Sure.
So it's like you buy an expensive display, you want to have a great audio experience as well. You go to the movie theaters, you go for the big screen, you go with a good sound system.
You go for a sound system.
You want to get immersed.
Let me tell you something. So. Yeah, I'm an old fart. When I was a kid, there were a couple movies that I saw. Midway, which was about the Japanese fleet that was basically the big battle that basically was the turning point in the war for us in the Battle of the Sea.
What are you talking about?
The movie Midway from the 70s. Okay. Was a big. But the thing is, so you went to the movie to see this, and the reason you went, when you got there, the whole front of the movie, which is usually just empty between the seats and the screen, were these giant sub cabinets. And when the planes were taking off, these old prop deals were taking off from the aircraft carriers, it shook the whole theater, man. It was the coolest thing. That's why you went to the theater. You go to the theater for the sound experience, to get your bones shaken, and to get as lifelike experience as you can. I have to say this: when you're watching in his theater, it's bigger than life because you are in such a small space with such a big screen and such a big sound, man. It's crazy, but
it's almost like a mini IMAX.
It is like a mini IMAX because that screen is so big and you're sitting so close. But you know, basically just saying, yeah, we do the video. We've got a really good situation for that, but he's also got an ideal situation to give audio reviews as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, just because a movie is loud and obnoxious, I don't base it on that. I base it on clarity-wise. Can I hear clear pinpoint panning front to back, overhead sounds, that mixed with very good visuals. It's all a combination of the two.
Yeah.
So I try to base it on that. Do I base it on how good the story is? No, I don't base it on that.
No, because that's not what he says that and everything. You know, just to make this clear, he says that we're not going to review the movie itself. We're going to do the content, the technical quality of the movie. So,
because we spent a lot of money on our home theaters. I think my projector was like 15 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
My audio system was a lot more than that. So you want to get the best experience you can. So a lot of people were a little butthurt about their favorite movies not being on the list.
It's not about we like this movie versus that movie because we like Power Rangers more than we like Spider-Man. I don't give two shits about the Power Rangers as a story.
I don't care about Power Rangers either.
Right, but as a technical experience, if you're looking for demo material to see how good your system is, man, it was #1 for a reason.
Any of you guys that are interested, if you guys go on the channel, my home theater is in the channel as well. The only new addition that I put on there is the SVS 16, PB16. That's the new addition. My 15 is no longer there.
Sorry, 1 second. So he was. Would you show off the home theater? I'm not going to say the names. Probably just want to get the comments. I didn't mean to do that before. Can you show off your theater in a video if you haven't? He actually has already. If you look back on the channel, one of the things he did was talk about the equipment we're using. I think he did it when we reached 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it was on there. But hold on, before we take any viewer questions, final thoughts on like video quality on it. So
video quality on it, I enjoyed. I think it's worth a purchase. If you have and really if you are thinking about getting upgrading your sound system, this is a very good movie to upgrade it for, because it allows you to hear all the little nuances that are going to scare the crap out of you.
Right. This isn't like a loud. I mean, it can be loud and bombastic at times, but the nuance in the soundtrack. I mean, it's a horror movie. You're going to get like scary nuance, little sounds, little things here and there bouncing up over your head, behind you, just creepy.
Yeah.
This does that. This supplies you, and I wouldn't rate movies just for being loud. But you want to get some nice.
Right. It's not just about, hey, this thing made my house shake. It's a good movie. It's just one aspect of the audio. But as far as this movie goes, this movie it's got those loud moments where it's gonna, the jump scare stuff. But it also has all the little ambiance, nuance moments that are gonna build that tension.
Yeah.
You're hearing this, you're hearing that. What is that sound? It's in the dark. That's all that. The whole thing about fear is it comes from the not what's in front of you, but the true fear is that suggested fear, and that's what that sound does for you. It builds that suggestivity.
Mm-hmm. The nice visuals, which I
no, I definitely give this. He gives it an 8. Yeah, I definitely agree. I would say the scary parts. I gave the scary parts in the tunnel like an 8.5, a 9, but then it balances out. So yeah, I agree. 8's probably a good overall quality for this.
I don't think it was, for me it wasn't like reference quality, but it was definitely worth a pickup.
Yeah, definitely worth the pickup. Yeah. And it's not like you're comparing it to some earlier Blu-ray release. It was in the 4K in the theaters, right? So
it's good. Definitely pick it up if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's really worth it. Now another movie with like a scary movie for sound, especially in a theater environment. If you saw Don't Breathe, about the kids that break into the guy's house, the blind guy, that's one of those things where any little sound at all is like you think the guy hears you, so that's one of those things where little sound is actually scarier than a lot of sound.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing it. Was that the one where he tries to impregnate the girl with the bass?
Yeah. Because she does something, she kills his wife or something, or she ends up. So she took something away from him, right?
She took that girl.
She was drunk or something, so then he kidnaps her and.
Yeah.
Crazy movie, but good movie. Another good one, as far as sound goes, is Halloween. Now, Halloween, I don't know if they've done have they done a 4K?
There's no 4K in that yet. I'm sure it's coming though.
If they do the 4K of Halloween, but even if they don't, if you listen to Halloween on a really good theater system, that's again another one that's very, very scary just because the sounds and not the loud sounds, it's the little sounds.
All right, so it in 4K, pick it up. Definitely worth the purchase. I think it's like something like $30, $25, something like that. So pick it up. All
right, what about Steelbook? Is there a Steelbook version that people want to get?
There is. I think Best Buy's got a Steelbook version. What is it, like $40 or something?
Yeah, usually a few bucks more.
Yeah.
I had a quick question over here.
So let's wrap up
about about the Nolan 4K collection we're picking up.
So we're gonna do the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
A couple questions here.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. Most of the 4K reviews on this channel do not coincide with other 4K critics, but I do like the channel. Usually they don't coincide because some of them get like review copies, stuff like that. You might want to please those guys. Like, I buy all my copies. I don't get any freebies unless people send them to me. Like, you know, some of the subscribers, none of the studios give us any copies. But we pay for them. And if it looks like shit, it looks like shit, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Again, also, are those critics reviewing just the technical quality, or are they kind of also talking about the story and how that plays an effect to the the technical stuff? And for this argument, I buy some movies just for 4K. Some pictures, even the movie's not that great. Yes, I agree. I buy some movies just Sensei. And for this argument, I buy some movies just for the sound of the pictures. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, sometimes it's about the sound.
I mean, who saw Ghost in the Shell? Not the best movie.
No,
but it had some good sound.
Yeah,
the visuals looked all right. Dunkirk. A lot of people butthurt about Dunkirk not being on the list.
Tofin, what's up?
You know why Dunkirk wasn't on the list? The visuals look fantastic. You know what?
Sound was lame.
In this, right now, I mean, Atmos is the big thing. Dunkirk was in 5.1. The last time 5.1 really impressed me was back in the Dolby Digital days.
Yeah.
That's why it was on the list.
They were being attacked in the air on a beach. You can't make Atmos work with that? Are you kidding me? That's just lazy. Maybe he was trying to give it the more authentic World War II feeling. But guess what? If you're on the beach in World War II, you can still hear planes flying over your head.
Oh, Dave S. is up, by the way.
Dave S., what's up, bro?
I pay for all our movies, too.
I buy the beer, though.
He does buy the beer.
Cheers to all our people who are watching us live now. We got about 20 more minutes, I guess. Sorry about being 20 minutes late.
I think most of the movies sound a little bit overbearing in IMAX.
Yeah, they're too loud. It's like IMAX, loud is better.
Shane, what's your wife think about your obsession? She watches movies in there just like normal people do. She doesn't bother me.
Dude, can you imagine it's like, hey, my girlfriends are all coming over to watch something on your big screen. Right on, bring all your girls over. Nancy's very... Oh, sorry. His wife is very cool. I don't want to throw names around. I don't know, privacy and stuff.
But yeah, next week we have next week we got, I think,
what I meant is that your reviews are usually on the outside percentage of positive 4K reviews. Well,
that your reviews are usually on the outside percentage of positive 4K reviews. Well, because like I said, my reviews are usually in the outside because I don't always like other people that do reviews on YouTube that give everything a good grade, that say everything looks great. Everything's gonna look good on a small screen. Let's face it. It's just gonna look good.
Not to be
like an elitist,
right? Elitist, but it's
or anything like that.
It's just, I don't know, just a visual truth, man. You look at something. Why don't they make 4K and 32-inch TVs? Because it doesn't matter.
It's like looking at movies on your phone. They look great and fantastic.
It's great that you've got an OLED screen on some of these phones, but
do you need a 4K screen on your phone? Oh, we don't.
Unless you want to like everything to be look. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that my screen has an AMOLED screen, but would it really make a difference? Probably not.
No. So that's why
equipment is probably much better than mine.
Well, that's why we try to get like the best equipment possible to give you our thoughts.
Don't feel bad. His equipment is better than pretty much anyone I know, and I know some people that have some serious equipment. His is better. But again, this isn't like the guy just went out with a credit card and just bought all this stuff, man. He acquired this stuff and worked at it and studied, and just it took him a long time to amass it. It's, as my friend JB says, it's a sickness. It really is.
It's a hobby. It's an expensive hobby. And then I figured, we made the channel. I wanted to do the channel. Yeah, not yet. I wanted to do the channel because, there's a lot of enthusiasts out there, like you guys here that are watching our channel right now, who want to know what the best visuals are, what the best audio is. And so, that's why we're here, to share our thoughts.
We're here
and to enjoy some beers
as public servants.
What do we do when we watch movies? We drink some beers, we have some cocktails, watch your 4K movies.
Dave S. That's right. It's your summer now in Oz. You bastard. I think it was 7 degrees when I woke up this morning, which, if any of our people are in like Minnesota and Michigan, yeah, big deal, okay, I get it. But for Connecticut, that's cold.
Wait, where's it?
Oz.
I don't know what that is. The Wizard of Oz?
No, Oz like Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it's warm, it's their summertime.
But next week we have Into the Stars, Into the Universe, or something like that. I've got that coming up. We've got Blade Runner 4K/3 coming up, which I saw. I did see. I was gonna have Bill watch it tonight, but we kind of ran out of time because we put 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Thing.
And I have to work at some point tomorrow. So
he's got to work in the morning tomorrow. But audio on the Blade Runner disc.
Excuse me.
Forget about it. Audio on Blade Runner is amazing sounding.
I saw it in the theater. I liked it, but I prefer the first one. I just think that the first one was, well, it's based on a book from one of my favorite authors, and it's a great story. I love the whole Turing test aspect of it, but Turing test, sorry, but I honestly didn't see a need for a follow-up, but that's just me being old and grumpy.
So either. I'm surprised they even made a follow-up, but how's it PQ? PQ looked really good. We saw the 3D as well. I saw some little bit of 3D as well. Looked really good. I won't say it's like reference quality, but it looked really good. Audio quality is definitely reference quality of Blade Runner 2049, which you guys hear that one with systems in your homes, Apple systems. But that's coming up next week as well.
I have to reveal a weakness here, because Tofan just made a comment about Bautista, and one of my favorite characters in Riddick was with Dave Bautista. He plays the.
Who's in that?
Yeah, he plays one of the bounty hunters that come down to the planet to, when he sets the beacon off and the 2 ships come down.
I did not know he was in there.
Yeah.
I never watched that.
So, but I'm a secret, like, I'm a Vin Diesel fan, and I've like ever since the Boiler Room, I just liked the character he plays. I thought he was did a good job, and then when I saw Pitch Black, I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan, and I like the Riddick stuff. I really want to see now. Is the Riddick stuff in 4K, or is it coming out in 4K? Do you know?
Not that I know of. I don't think that last one did too good theaters.
But that was honestly that last one to me was one of the best ones.
I love Pitch Black. This is a good movie.
Pitch Black was a killer
really
movie,
good.
man.
Yeah. Vin Diesel was looking young in that movie.
He was young in that movie. That was what, 1998 when that came out? 97? 99. I forget.
No, it was like 99 or something like that.
It came out in a video in 99.
Yeah. That's good. I've watched that recently. Movie. What else coming up next week? Just Blade Runner. Across Into the Stars. What is that? What's that movie? Under that disc right there. What do we got? Under It.
Under It. Across the Universe. Yeah, musical love story. based on the John Lennon song.
Across the universe, who's seen it? Who has seen it? I don't think I've ever seen this.
How big is your Blu-ray collection? Oh, is there? Oh, I have to. It's, I don't know, his Blu-ray collection. I just come over and watch his movies. I don't even own a Blu-ray player, like for 4K, because I stream everything and then I come over here. How do you get your movies early if you don't get them for free?
You guys can find a lot of deals on eBay.
eBay. Sensei, is there really a drastic difference between Dolby Vision and HDR10?
Not really.
The thing is, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, if you watch
side by side
thing to tell, yeah. But so basically, what HDR10 is it uses static metadata. So what they do is there is a certain number of frames that they basically have a few basically contrast points like sky and ground and this light and dark. And then it takes an average over a few frames and it just sets the average HDR, which is the contrast level for that number of frames. And it's like having a certain buffer. So you got 10 frames, 10 frames, 10 frames, whatever. I'm not saying it uses 10 frames, I'm just using a random number. Dolby Vision changes frame by frame by frame.
Mm-hmm. Could it be better? Sure, it could be. Is it better? Sometimes it looks a little bit better, for sure.
I think it depends, again, like everything we watch. Is the director taking advantage of this? If you're an artist and you're painting in black and white, does a 64 color box of crayons do you any bit of good? No. So it depends on what the director's vision was, and if their vision includes a lot of contrasty type stuff.
Yeah, is it like a mind-blowing difference? I don't think so.
I can't imagine.
I don't think it's that big a difference to be like, I'm not going to buy it. I mean, I still buy it. I mean, if Dolby Vision was like in every other manufacturer except for Samsung, I'd still probably not buy Samsung. And get a TV with Dolby Vision.
I mean, I like the fact that my LG does Dolby Vision as well as.
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to be covered on all bases.
Right.
Although this year I don't think anything is in, at least not to my knowledge, anything's in HDMI 2.1. I think everything's still in 2.0. Just 2.0 right now.
Really?
I don't. At least I know the LGs are not in 2.1 this year. This year, I don't believe.
Well, again, I stream everything. When I get my Xbox One X, then I think I will kind of worry more about that. Guys, have for dinner. You keep burping. Well, I had a nice big pulled pork sandwich with black beans and fries.
This is late night beer reviews here.
Yeah, this is right. This is late night. Like I said, this is like Comedy Central after hours. In fact, after this, we're gonna show Bigger, Longer, Uncut, the South Park movie. Are you guys neighbors? No. Beer. It's what's for dinner.
How big is the Blu-ray collection? Not very big. I usually sell them off after I watch them.
Yeah, I mean, he was giving away at first as far as like reaching milestones for the subscriber list, but beyond that,
I only keep the ones that I really like.
The reference stuff.
Yeah.
My Sony Up 8X can only output HDR10 and I2 have an LG OLED, but they're sure they're going to release HDR10 plus.
But as far as
we've been hearing about HDR. I've been hearing about HD 10 Plus as a sort of a cooperation between Amazon and Samsung. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've yet to see it. In fact, I was hearing earlier that Sony was going to have their firmware updated so they could also do Dolby Vision, which is completely different from last year when the Sony rep told me that we will never ever do Dolby Vision, and then
Sony rep.
Yeah,
you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are.
Sony rep.
Should upgrade on the Oppo. What do you think?
I would get the Oppo. I've had the Samsung, I've had the LG, I've had the Sony, I've had the Oppo, Panasonic. I've had them all. But if you're going to buy a 4K player, spend a little bit extra amount of money, get the Oppo player, because Oppo or Oppo, they support their players for years and years until there's a newer model they want to release with maybe like a major update that you got to do hardware-wise. And then they'll make a new player. Usually the major players, the major companies like Sony, LG, Samsung, they're going to do a player every year.
Yeah.
Then typically they stop supporting the players from the previous year. But with Apple, they're always going to give you updates, firmware updates, improve the player. So I would spend the extra money. That way you're not always, contemplating getting the newer version from Sony or the newer version from LG.
It's kind of like a Sonos thing where Sonos they basically invented the whole networked audio genre, right? That whole niche. But the one thing that's different about them than any other company that does this is the fact that they still support their original speakers that they put out 15, 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. I know guys that own them, they put out firmware updates, so you don't have to go out in 5 years and buy a whole new sound system because they decided, hey, screw those guys, Yeah. So if there's a Oppo maybe a little more expensive at the outset, but it'll probably be worth it in the long run as far as you're saving because you're not going to be buying a new one every year.
No, it's reselling or just giving away to neighbors or relatives.
Throwing it out your window.
Get the shell out, get the Apple Player. Apple Player is more for the enthusiast crowd, much like you guys, more enthusiasts. That's why you're watching our channel. If you guys are like mass market guys, obviously you guys, get Sony, Samsung.
Honestly, if I was gonna, if I'm not, and okay, I will say this, I am a gamer, not a crazy rabid gamer, but I do like playing. I'm gonna get the Xbox X, and yes, it does have a 4K player with HDR, but I will say this, it is an inferior player. It's not an Oppo. It's not nearly as good as say a Sony 800. If I was going to buy if I wasn't buying an Oppo, because I don't have a system on the scale that he has, I'm just a regular cat, I would probably just go with the Sony because I like the Sony. I understand that it does, it's a universal as far as the licensing goes and all that stuff. You can play stuff from, you don't have the...
Not that I'm aware, I don't think you can.
Oh, I thought I read that somewhere.
No, as far as I know you can do that.
No.
Maybe, I don't think so though.
Well, you would know. So, put it this way: when I decide to buy one, I'm going to talk to him.
I'll probably buy my old one.
But he's going to get rid of his Oppo because they suck. No. This is very distracting to look at that while we're doing this.
I know. How's it inferior? Nobody said it was inferior. I gave you my whole spiel. You can rewind back what I said about it. But thoughts on the Epson 5040? I've seen the Epson 5040. Many times. It looks great. It's got the E-Shift capability. It takes the 1080p panel. It upscales up to 4K. It's very similar to what the JVC does. And I've owned the JVC as well. JVC. We sold the JVC. We sold the JVC.
When I first met him, came over here, and I saw the JVC, and I thought that was the shit.
The JVC is awesome.
It was really good. Yeah. And then he got the Sony 4K he's got now. And, that's awesome. It really is. But for a while, I couldn't tell the difference. And then he kind of, he's been teaching me certain things as far as the tech specs go and the kind of what to look for. Also, the features. One of the things about that's really, I love watching movies with him, but one of the things that's maddening is he's a tinkerer. Like, while you're watching something, he'll pull up the control interface. It's like, huh. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to watch the movie. But that's why he's the tech guy.
I think there's a player from Optima this year, which is I think it's like $1,500. It's supposed to be a native 4K projector, which is like a steal. It's a DLP.
He's stressing over choosing a projector under $3,000.
Like I said, I think Optima's got a projector for $1,500, so check that out. I think it's like the Optima 3050 or 3500 or something like that. So check that out. It's supposed to be native 4K.
Quickly, Dave S. I still think the HDR on my TV is screwed up. Can either of you suggest some good HDR moments for me to check? For me...
You're going to know. You're going to know if it's working or not.
One of the things that we really noticed, Passengers had some great HDR, especially the space scenes where they're outside, because you've got pitch black and you've got stars. Hacksaw Ridge. You've got a lot of smoke, but then you've got explosions. Good HDR moments are moments of high contrast in, like, say, a twilight scene where you see the sun setting in that last flash. When you see, like, say, in the DC movies, when you see it's a very dark movie, it's a blue filtered movie, but then you see the explosions and you see the lights out of his eyes. That's HD. That's HDR. So that's what you're looking for. Is some of these areas that have some scenes. Captain America, Civil War, when Iron Man and Captain America are going toe to toe with the shield and the eyes and all that. That's got a lot of really good HDR moments because you've got a lot of little bright sparks and things like that. That's a really good HDR example for one scene.
Definitely check it out. What else we got here? Told you thoughts about the 4K projector and the 3K. $1,500. Google it. CES 2018. It's coming out then. Should be. I think it's on Best Buy. Like another 2 weeks, it'll be on sale. Marantz 8012 receiver, 11 channel receiver. Should be a beast.
Yeah.
Get it? What is it? I think it's like gonna be $3,000 or something like that.
Yeah, but it's one of the 11 channels that actually supports the full 11 channels. Yeah. Not, hey, this will do 11 channels as long as you get an amp for the last 2.
Yeah. So I think Denon's got like a beast one coming out, like 13 channels or something this year.
Denon's my favorite, man.
Just keep an eye out for that.
I love the Marantz. If I'm doing strictly audio, I'm looking at Marantz or Macintosh or Mark Levinson. Yeah, Mark Levinson. Keep dreaming. When I win the lotto, I'll buy Mark Levinson. But for just, if you're doing home theater and audio, I prefer the Denon. It's got quicker response to the DAX. I don't know. We did a test where we were watching a particular movie.
How did you do this test?
Huh?
How did you do this test?
How did I do this test? I do this test at a place that I know that allows me to come in and do test stuff like this. And basically, I was kind of going back and forth between the Marantz and the Denon. And what I heard from the Denon in this particular test, which is we had thunder. And to my ears, and this is a very subjective thing, the thunder on the Marantz was soft. Like, it was loud, it sounded like thunder, but it didn't crack. On the Denon, it cracked, and the guy explained it to me as the fact that I guess the processing in the Denon is faster than the Marantz as far as the changes, because there are more rapid changes in home theater, generally speaking, than there are in music. I don't understand that per se, but this guy knows what he's talking about because he has a system. We won't go into that, but his system is legendary.
Interesting.
Yeah. JB. Yeah. All right, well.
We're coming up.
Vizio is trash. 5K for a receiver.
Wait, do you know of any Star movies that has some flaws? Sure. Yes, Denon have 13 amp and I have Denon 64 sports amplifier. No, well, not with 13 amps though. Samsung 8000 4K TV. What do you think about it? It's a good mid-range.
It is a good mid-range. Although, for my money, if you like watching sports, if you like watching movies, if you can afford a couple $100 more, it's not like a whole other tier of TV. I'm a bigger Sony fan than I am a Samsung fan. I know Samsung has, blinding colors and great, just really, really bright everything. I prefer more natural colors. That's why I like the Sony. But again, Sony, Samsung, it's a subjective thing. So people who like Samsung, please, I meant no offense. I'm just saying I prefer Sony. And the 900E, I think, is a much better TV than the 8000. That's my opinion. Opinions are like certain parts of our bodies. Everyone has one, and they all stink. Or everyone else's stink. I guess that's the proper way of explaining that.
All right, so we're a little over
at CES, you're excited about? I really want to see that 8K panel firsthand. Man, I really want to see that. One of these days, I'm actually gonna get to I'm gonna get to that CES thing, man. I swear to God. Tofin, you're dead to me now. Dude, I have nothing against Samsung, nothing against it all. My first LED TV was a Samsung. I paid a shit ton of money for it, and I still kicked myself in the ass because I could have got a plasma. But
yeah,
we were all young Padawans at one point.
All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out on the live stream. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties at the beginning. I think we were messing around for like a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, trying to figure out that audio problem. We had we had a wicked echo and screeching feedback. And
but like I said, we have Across the Universe coming out this week. We got Blade Runner coming out as well. Keep an eye out for that one. That's a good one. Other than that, cheers.
Hey, cheers.
It's a good one.
Keep it between the ditches. Be safe. See you next week.